Oh, bitches. Ladies and gentlemen, 'tis I. Krystal, actually, I don't need my fucking sunglasses. Krystal motherfucking McSkeez's bitches. And it's been 3 weeks since my last confession. Things that are new. Okay, first of all, I really missed you guys. I just, haven't had time to make a video. Why? Because I've been so busy being in love and having sex and having orgasms and all the things that weren't brought on by myself. So, yay for that. So, I've been out in LA for the past 3 weeks, right? And it was dope because normally when I'm out there, I start my period, within days. And it always leaves a really bloody mess when it comes to to sex and to everything. And so, hold on. If I have papers, my life would be great, and I don't think I do. Bitch ass. I'm out of papers, so we're just gonna have a little smoke session today with bowls, because I am too lazy to go to the store and I have hella shit. I have all of my shit from my house back here that needs to be packed or unpacked still. I have my suitcase. I have hella shit. Okay, here's how it started. So, 3 weeks ago, it was my ex-dude's weekend, right? So naturally, I go down to LA. That's what I do. I go see my dude, all of these things. I leave that Wednesday morning, right? And as I'm walking out, my grandpa starts coughing. And I'm like, you sick over there? He's like, it's just a cold. I'm like, okay, grandpa. Have fun with that. Bye. Right? I dipped. We left. Dropped off the kids at Dropped off the kids at school. Was on my happy way. Got home. And it was... Was it Valentine's Day? I don't know when it was. It was the week of Valentine's Day though. So I get there. Ray had a little balloon set up for me. He had a little card for me and some roses and some sunflowers. And I was like, oh, you're cute, babe. And I was like, well, I want to do something for him, right? So I went out. I got him some balloons. I got him a heart-shaped pizza. A heart-shaped pizza and took a piece of it because I took a piece of his heart. Oh, and then what did I do? And then I just cleaned my pipe out too. Yes, Raymond actually cleaned my pipe out. Thanks, babe. So yeah, he gets home. We have a great time. We do hella shit. We have nice lunches. We go out to San Diego, or we go towards San Diego, and there's hella traffic. Okay, hold on. Where do I want to start? Oh, yeah. So, I'm out there. I'm out there normally from Thursday to Monday. And that day I left on Wednesday because my ex was like, I'll take him a day early. And I'm like, dope, bye. So my ex took him a day early. I left on Wednesday. I think it was by Friday or Saturday, my grandma texted or called me and she's like, hey, I just tested positive for COVID. I'm like, oh, well then, okay. It's like, well, let me know how that goes because I'm my grandpa, when he tested positive for COVID the last time, he did not quarantine or isolate himself or nothing. He stayed all over the house, touched everything, all of this shit, right? And so I'm assuming that's what he did this last time too. Infected my grandma, and then my grandpa tested positive 2 or 3 days later, right? Because they tested him that day and he wasn't positive. They tested him 2 days later and he came back positive. So now I have 2 family members sick. Literally testing positive 2 days before I go back home. So I'm like, hey, ex of mine, guess what? My family is sick with COVID. You're gonna have to keep the kids. Sorry. No issues from there, right? Then, so I was there I was there Wednesday. I think by Saturday, my grandma confirmed that she was positive. And then by Monday, my grandpa confirmed he was positive. And then that Wednesday or Thursday, my mom was like, oh, I'm positive too. And I'm like, fuck. And then it wasn't until that was Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. So it wasn't until 4 days later my father-in-law hit me, or my fucking stepdad hit me up, and he's like, hey, and I'm like, what's up? He's like, I just tested positive for COVID. And I'm like, yeah, no, fucking all bad. So I hit up my fucking ex, and I'm like, hey, guess what? Now everyone in my family has contracted COVID, and I'm not going home until everyone's better. And then he's like, be here on Monday. And I'm like, sir, the fuck? I was like, I will let you know when everyone is not symptomatic. Like, I don't need to be going home and having people coughing all over the fucking place and getting fucking people sick and all of this shit. Like, I don't need to do that. Um, and so that was that. So I've been in LA, right? Just fucking been in LA. While I was down there, I met up with one of my, she was an Instagram friend. Now she's a real friend. Now I have to call her, actually, because I feel bad. This last week, and I'm normally just, I'll have to answer that back. I'm normally just fucking chill, right? On fucking, fucking phone call fucked me up. Oh yeah, I'm normally just chill during my weeks, but like this last week that I was out there, I had hella shit to do, and I'm just like, fuck, I didn't have any time to hang out with her like I wanted to. But she's 32, and she's 32, and she's married to a narcissist, right? And she's been with him since she was like younger, and they're married, and now they're getting a divorce, no, they're getting married and they've been separated. And then we hung out. We went to go play pool. We were talking and shit, and I'm just like, dude, like, you could do this, you know what I'm saying? And I'm like, you could do this, because like her problem is that she wants to be sober. And I'm just like, yeah, dude, like, you know, it happens. We all kind of get like caught up in the fucking in the whirlwind, you know what I'm saying? In the whirlwind of bullshit. And like, especially when you've been a mom and you carry this mom guilt of like, well, if I go out and I do anything fun for myself, that just means that that I'm a bad mom, right? But it shouldn't be like that in the world. Like, literally, you can be a good mom, be with your kids all the time, and still go out and do shit for yourself. You know what I'm saying? But she's one of those moms like I was, and she just got caught up in like well, I'm a bad person if I go out. Meanwhile, her fucking dude was out doing all sorts of fucking shit, and like, I'm not putting all of her shit out there, but she had some issues. He wasn't there to support her when she got fucking back, and continues to be like, well, I don't know. Like, the fuck do you mean you don't know, motherfucker? Like, do you love her? Yes or no? Yes. Well then, you married her, you should work this out. Do you love her? Yes or no? No, I don't love her. Then bye, motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? Super simple. Like, no need to keep her on a leash and hopeful and all these fucking things. And she pretty much was like, yeah, once my mom was like, have some dignity and leave him. I was like, ooh, like, it sounds like your mom knows what she's talking about. And I'm like, and honestly, dude, like, I get it. I 110 fucking % get it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I've been there. I don't want to fucking have a broken home. I don't want to have a fucking family where my kids fucking had to go to 2 different people's houses and shit like that. Like, I didn't want any of that. And I fought long and hard to make sure that didn't happen, my friend. But, you know, when you are the only one putting in 100% of the effort into a relationship, that's what happens, you know what I'm saying? And so she was trying, like, even when I was hanging out with her, like, she was like, oh, I'm still tired, like, we're still talking and all these things, and I'm like, you know what that is? That's control, you know what I mean? That's 100% control. Where are you doing? Who are you with? What's going on? And it's like, oh, and I'm not chatting with you to see how you're doing, I'm chatting with you to see who the fuck you're with, and make sure you're not with anyone else, right? And so, like, I took pictures of her while she was playing pool and shit, and I sent her, I'm like, look, dude, like, you're sober here, you're happy, like, you could do this, like, I did this, like, I am here to help you, right? And then 2 days later, she hit me up in the morning and was like, hey, like, do you have any experience with filing for divorce? And I'm like, girlfriend, like, I don't, but I can help you, right? Because I'm paralegal. So I sent her over the form she needs to fill out, and then my intention was to go help her fill out the forms, right? And that just didn't happen. And I feel fucking super bad because she ended up calling me, and I've just been super busy and I wasn't able to respond. So that's one person that I'm working with right now, and I really want to just like motivate her and encourage her to like better her life. Like, bitch, you're beautiful. Bitch, you're fucking smart. You're educated. You can do this, my friend. You can fucking do this. Like, it doesn't matter if you're living at your sister's house and you have to humble yourself and all of these things, like, you will be okay. I have to call her after this, actually. So that's where we're at right now, and that's what's going on. So that was person number one. And then person number two, and it's funny because person number one and person number two both know Ray's ex, and have also shined a light on some stories, and I'm just like, gosh, she's so worthless. Really quick, I just think this is really funny. I was talking to friend number one, and she got brought up because I mentioned my dude now, and how, like, you know, we were both with like super toxic exes, but like we didn't leave the relationship because we invested so much time, right? And then we realized like they were just not the ones for us. And I was just like, yeah, dude. And I'm like Ray and his ex, I'm like, they had nothing to keep them together. I'm like, they had no fucking kids, you know what I mean? Like, for as toxic as their relationship was, I'm like, they just stayed together because that's just what they thought they had to do. Until I think she broke up with him, or he broke, whatever the case may be. I think she broke up with him, and he was like, that's fine, bye. And she was just like, wait, who's his ex? And then I was just like, oh, you know her, it's fucking Jessica. She's like, oh yeah. She's like, Jessica and Roger. She's like, yeah, I hung out with them a few times. And I'm like, yeah. She's just like, she's a weird girl. I'm like, she is a weird girl. She's a weird bitch, for sure. And then she's just like, yeah, she's like, we were like rolling. She's just like, and she's like, she was talking to me. She's like, and I couldn't really understand her. She's like, it's almost like she has like a lisp. I'm like, bro, she has a fucking speech impediment with her fucking Hamburg jaw. Like, it's a thing. She's like, oh my God, really? And I'm like, yeah. I'm like, don't feel bad that you couldn't understand her. And I'm like, because I'm sure, I'm like, she already fucking sounds like she has fucking problems when she talks. I'm like, I'm sure when she's on fucking drugs, it's all bad. And she started laughing. So that moves me down to person two, right? Person two here also made cookies for person one. Made cookies for person one, went out, had a drink, or went out, had some Coke in the water, and had some Coke in the water. Not like Coke, but like a soda and some water, because she was just like, I'm not drinking. And I was like, I'm like, honestly, I'm like, sometimes all you need is to just have something in your hand. I'm like, get a water, put it in your hand, you should be good. And she's like, all right. And that was working for a minute. She's like, well, maybe I'll just get like a Coke. And I'm like, you could do that. And I'm like, whatever you need. So then she did that, and then we were playing pool, and it was all good. And she's like, I think we need to go. And I'm like, it's fine, dude. I'm like, whenever it's, you know, like, it's all good. Baked her cookies. She's like, can I have one? And I'm like, fuck yeah, dude, you can have some fucking cookies. It's all good. And then I dropped her off, and it was like, dude, like, I'm really rooting for you, my friend. You know what I'm saying? I really am. So call her after this video. And then the next person is person two. And person two also knows Ray's ex. They actually all used to hang out together. And she's just been posting like cryptic shit, you know what I'm saying? Like, I can't do this anymore. Like, I'm so fucking over this. I'm fucking done. And like, she's also in a sketchy marriage, but she's also like living with family. So I'm like, it could either be about the marriage, it could be about living with family, or it could be about her taking her own life. And I don't want that, because she has kids. And she's also just a person who's just like a product of her environment. Apparently she's been enabled like her entire life. She told me she doesn't work. And I'm just thinking to myself, like, you know why? Because when you're like a pretty and like an attractive girl, there will be dudes out there that want to just take care of you. Or if you have a supportive family, they'll just take care of you. I do not have any of those. So I've always had to work. Always. My whole life. And so when I hear that, and I'm like, well, I'm thinking, like, we need to set up a game plan, right? Like, she's not super confident about her marriage lasting. And I'm like, honestly, dude, that's okay. I'm like, I was gonna marry my ex, and I'm so fucking glad I didn't. Because ultimately, the divorce would have been the nastiest thing I've ever had to deal with in my whole entire life. Ever. Ever. So, and honestly, like I said, I'm always team leave him. If you're not happy, leave him. And to guys too, I'm like, dudes, if you're being with some bitch who's fucking treating you like shit and just using you as a paycheck and fucking having you support her while she goes out and does whatever the fuck she wants, leave that fucking bitch. I just fucking told my friend Sideshow the same fucking thing, and he finally did. He literally hit me up and was like, Skeez, I finally kicked out that freeloading bitch. And I'm just like, hallelujah. Because I've been telling him to leave that fucking bitch for the last 4 fucking years. But I get it, dude. People have pride. People have egos. People don't like to be wrong. People like to be with the people they invested their time with. My fucking friend told me that Jess fucking Ray's ex is also pissed because she's like, I just invested so much time with him. And it's just like, yeah, you guys don't have any kids? You guys don't have any kids and you guys weren't married? It doesn't fucking matter. The end, right? I spent 11 years with my ex. From 19 to 31 years old. You don't think I was fucking upset and angry when I had to leave him? And when it didn't work out? And when I left him and we tried to work it out and it didn't? You don't think I was mad about that? Why? Because when he left me and wanted to work things out, I made sure we made things work out. Like, it's one of those things where it's like, of course you're upset. Of course you feel fucking stupid. Of course you feel like you should have listened to everybody. You already know who's gonna hit you with the I fucking told you so. I already told you about him. No one ever liked him. You can replace him with her at any given fucking point, my friend. Because honestly, my ex's family never liked me either. So realistically, and honestly, I feel like that has such a role to play in relationships. If your mother-in-law doesn't like you, and your father-in-law don't like you before marriage, they're not gonna like you when you get fucking married. No, they're not gonna like you if you have their fucking grandchildren. They're just not gonna like you. And it's gonna make your life real fucking difficult. My fucking stepdaughter fucking was saying how hard her fucking dude's parents were making her life because she uses profanity, she has her fucking tits out all the fucking time, and it's like, Karina, I don't know what you expected when you fucking got with the fucking Muslim fucking family, but guess what? You are hella not what they wanted when their fucking son was like, I am in love. You know what I mean? Like, no. They wanted someone that was of Muslim fucking background, that knew the language, knew the fucking traditions, knew the culture, fucking was going to abide by their fucking traditional fucking bullshit. And when she was devastated and crying because they fucking don't like her, it's like, I don't have any sympathy for you. Because not only did she rush into that relationship, she literally got with that fucking dude because she was just like, I need someone to take care of me. That's it, folks. My stepdaughter told me that when she was 19, and I see people around me, even myself. I didn't need my ex to take care of me, but I needed someone to escape with, and it was him. And even though I was the one working fucking consistently the whole fucking time, and he had a shit fucking job as a bouncer at a nightclub, like, I don't know. It's where I wanted to be. I wanted to be in LA. Okay, anyways, taking it back here. Yeah, people make wrong decisions, but it's about fucking letting go of your fucking ego and fucking realizing that ultimately you have to put you first and realize that your fucking happiness is everything, right? That person also fucking told me that Ray's ex cheated on fucking her current boyfriend. And I'm just like, yes, we know that. And that's another problem. Apparently, Ray's ex Jess is with a really good guy named Roger. I have not heard anyone say one bad thing about him. Yeah, he parties. Yeah, he's a little bit of a fucking morbidly obese man, gingery man that probably can't breathe when he walks up the stairs. But I mean, it's fine. It's not my man. But apparently he's a really nice guy. Hear really good things about him. People who have met him say that he's really nice, all of these things. And then you have his girlfriend, who's just a whore. Like, literally just a fucking whore. She's had 2 dicks inside of her at the same time, and she's cheated on her fucking dude probably more than a handful of times. This is just one case I now can confirm. And every person I meet that has met her has nothing nice to say about her. Nothing. Even fucking person number 2 that I hung out with, she was like, she's just always been a bitch. And I'm just like, well, I don't fuck bitches, so, like, I fuck females. Beautiful ones. I just don't fuck bitches, because I don't need my fucking talents or fucking time of day, let me tell you. And realistically, it's like, I don't know how people can be such shitty human beings, honestly. Like, this is the dude that took you in when you had nowhere to fucking go, and when you couldn't afford your own fucking place, he was the first dude to be like, I'll fuck you and you can come live with me. And you're like, okay. And then you do him like that. It's just shady. But anyways, yeah, person number 1, I ended up getting drunk with my mother-in-law. Having her tell me, like, her whole life story, and there were tears that were shed, and she's really happy Raymond and I found each other, and all of these things, and how much she loves our kids, how she wishes we could live down there, all of these things. So, sorry. You guys have no idea how much I love my life down there. And I wish my kids and I could just move down there. And it just super sucks. There's so much to do down there all the time. All the fucking time. I did that the other day. My jaw popped and it was beautiful. Waiting for that to happen again. Like, there's something to do every day. Even if it's just going to the beach every day. Pick up the kids. Get them in their bathing suits. Fucking be out to the water. I did that once, and it was a marvelous day for me. Truly 110% marvelous. Yeah, well, regarding my ex, he let me talk to the kids twice in 3 weeks that I was gone. He says that I chose to be in LA and live my fucking life. So the 3rd week comes down, right? Because basically it was like, hey, I'm gonna go back on fucking Tuesday. Like, that's like when the quarantine should be over, and the only people who were still feeling sick were my mom and my grandma, and I'm like, that's fine, we could deal with that. And I'm like, okay, well, I'm gonna drive out there and pick them up on Tuesday. I was like, I get them Tuesday from school, I have them Tuesday night, I have them Wednesday night. I'm like, and then you take them Thursday for the weekend. And I'm like, so do you want to just switch weekends and just give me this weekend with them, since I haven't seen them in 3 weeks? And he's like, no, it's gonna fuck up the schedule. And I'm like, whose schedule is it gonna fuck up, Dyer? I was like, seriously, just give me the kids this weekend. I'll even take them next week and have them 2 weekends in a row, not a big deal, right? And I'm like, you're still gonna have them your Thursday and your Thursday through Saturday, which is fucking so stupid. And fucking, he was like, nope. And I'm like, okay. And I'm like, well, I don't really want to drive out fucking there for me to be with them for 2 days just so I can come back to LA, right? And I'm like, why don't you just keep them those 2 days and just have them until that fucking Monday? He's like, okay. And I'm like, this is obviously what you fucking wanted. Because, dude, I fucking put gas in my car yesterday. It was fucking 5.28 a gallon. And I'm like, bro, it's just too fucking much. Like, my trips, everything is just, like, gonna be cut down significantly. Like, normally I try to go out and do hell shit, like, all the time, right? Like, and it's just, like, I mean, it's gonna be literally cheaper for me to drive somewhere with the kids and get a hotel room and stay out there than drive somewhere, come home that night, and then drive somewhere the next day. Seriously, like, this is where we're at with inflation prices right now. And no, it is not Joe Biden's fault. But fucking A, man, it does suck. And I was just like, what is happening? And it's just, it makes me want to put gas, or fucking get a fucking car wash every fucking time I fill up. Just to save 20 fucking cents. Jesus. Anywho, so my ex sucks. I told him that he had until the 20th to fucking, I told him he had until the 20th to figure out what his plans were in terms of our scheduling, right? And I'm like, we've been talking about this since November, December, January, February. It's been 3 months. Actually, today is March 1st. It's been 4 months that we've had this conversation. And he keeps on hitting me with, my lawyer this, my lawyer that, my lawyer this. And then his lawyer tells me that she's no longer representing him. So then I hit him with, who the fuck are we waiting for now? And why the fuck can't we just go get our fucking shit notarized like we have in the fucking past and leave it as is? What the fuck is the problem, right? I don't understand. And so he was just like, okay, well, I talked to him yesterday, and he's like, well, all the paperwork's being sent over. And I'm like, yeah, let's hope that's the fucking case, because I'm fucking tired of waiting. Because you know what I'm gonna have to do? I'm gonna have to go fucking file the paperwork and take his ass to court again. And it's like, yeah, and can we get the kids vaccinated? Thanks. Because, like, I'm trying to do things, and let's just get it over with. And I'm tired of all of this, keeping them out of school and quarantining them and all of these things. Because when I start working, I'm not going to be able to be like, my kid's classroom has quarantined for 5 days. I don't have anyone to watch them. I have to stay with them. You know what I mean? Like, they're vaccinated. They're not fucking sick and showing symptoms in 2 days. Send them back to school. And this motherfucker wants to hit me with, like, CDC guidelines say quarantine time is only 5 days. Which, to me, in my opinion, my conspiracy theory is that is the capitalism fucking move, so it can put parents back to fucking work and send kids back to school and keep the economy going. They can literally say whatever the fuck they want, right? But when I was like, yeah, and the CDC also recommends that the kids get vaccinated too, and he had no fucking response for that. And I'm like, oh, now someone wants to suddenly listen to the CDC. And I'm like, 2 weeks ago you were sending me fucking Joe Rogan fucking podcasts. Like, what the fuck? So, these are the things. So, he still sucks. I called my son on his birthday. He didn't answer. I cried. I sent him a text. I don't think he knows how much it hurts my feelings when he doesn't answer. But it is what it is. And, you know, it just sucks. It just fucking sucks. And me, looking for a fucking job. My resume looks great. Been putting fucking resumes out there. No one wants to hire me. Would you like to know why? Because I do not have the 2 to 10 years of experience they're looking for, either being a paralegal or working at a law firm. And I'm like, dope. Super cool. Alright. So I have lowered my standard from like a paralegal to a junior paralegal, and my salary expectations from $90,000 to a reasonable $50,000 to $60,000. And I'm hoping that helps, because realistically, I have done every other field. I've done the medical field. I've done fucking retail. I've done fucking management. I've done accounting. I've done fucking everything you can think of except for manufacturing. I've never fucking wanted to build shit, because you know what comes with building shit? Body injuries. I'm not talking about immediate body injuries. I'm talking about like long-term, over the years. My mom used to work at fucking Numi, and she used to work on the line before she became a manager. But those years of her working on the line fucked her up. She had to fucking get like a shoulder fucking surgery done to her on like her shoulder blade, because it was like a repetitive motion every day and shit like that. And I'm like, yeah, see, no, it's not for me. As if carpal fucking tunnel wasn't enough, folks. Jesus Christ, like I couldn't imagine my whole back having to experience that. And that's why people in construction get paid so much fucking money, because they go home with all the injuries, my fucking friend. And that is just, ugh, it's fucking terrible. But yeah, so, and then I did like, I've never been a server. I've been a hostess at one point, but I was never a server, like, as taking down people's fucking orders and shit. That's just never been me. I've never wanted to do that. I know that people get tips and cashed out and shit like that, but, like, I don't know. I've always preferred an office job. That way I can have my Monday through Fridays and have my weekends free. Life, it's so crazy, you guys. It is crazy. But yeah, so still looking for that fucking position right now. And I've been really excluding working in San Francisco, and I've been I've been trying to not cross any bridges, essentially, right? Because, like, anyway, I could change it. Fucking hair. Ugh, my fucking, my fucking, blah. My fucking range and radius for looking for jobs has only been like 5 to 10 miles, right? Because I don't want to have to commute, you guys. I really fucking don't. Like, it's not something that I'm interested in. It's not something that I would like to do. It's not something that I would like to do. It's, I've done it for years. Crossing the fucking San Mateo Bridge, crossing the fucking Dumbarton Bridge, crossing the fucking Bay Bridge, crossing fucking, crossing the Have I ever crossed Golden Gate for work? Did I ever work out there? No, I never had to work out there. Oh yeah, when I fucking do it for Lyft, but I mean, yeah, actually, when I've done it for Lyft, that shit sucks. Because it's fucking far, and then everything out there is far, and I'm hella not familiar with like the Sausalito and fucking wherever the fuck is out there, fucking the fuck is it, Mill Valley and shit like that. Yeah, not familiar with that area at all, so it makes me uncomfortable. Cause I don't know the dead zone areas, I don't know the phone ranges, I don't know who I'm gonna call if I get a flat tire or anything out there, you know what I'm saying? So it's just all, these are all things you must be concerned about. And then also, yeah, like I would rather be at home with my kids, honestly. Like I don't need to get off work at 5 o'clock and not get home until 7 because I'm having to cross the fucking bridge and drive down the fucking 80 or take the fucking 580 and then take the 580 all the way down fucking Mission, and then I don't even know where the fuck I'm gonna live. Honestly, like I'm just trying to find a house from like from cheap to like $3,500. If I have to go up to fucking 38, I will, but I really don't fucking want to. Really don't fucking want to. Why? Because I'd rather be fucking spending less and saving more and going out and traveling more. Because the kids want to go to fucking Hawaii, they want to go to Harry Potter World, and I want to take them. That way, when Ray and I go to fucking Europe, or fucking Australia, or fucking New Zealand, or fucking Iceland, or fucking Mexico, or Canada, or fucking anywhere in South America, or wherever the fuck we want to go, I won't feel bad about it, because it's like, well, I already took my kids on this trip, and now this is the adult trip. You know what I mean? And Ray's already been to a bunch of continents, so I'm trying to get like him. Oh, I don't think he's ever been to Egypt, though, and I'm really trying to do that. See how the fucking world is going by the time we get there, but Jesus. Trying to go to Jordan. I follow a bunch of TikTokers that travel, and there's this fucking TikToker from fucking Jordan that I am like, you can be my tour guide, sir. I will 100% pay you. And he's always advertising for that, and I'm just like, hiding in plain sight. Is he like just luring people there to kidnap them and to like sell them as sex slaves and all of these things? I don't know. But he seems like a really nice guy, so I might just trust him and fucking go out on a limb and do that. So those are the things. Oh, my fucking knee needs to pop. And then, I follow this broad who has a bunch of hiking trails in SoCal, and I actually went on one, that she recommended, and it really was beautiful. So I follow her. There's a bunch of fucking places that we're trying to fucking dip out to and do. And then there's also, hiking trails in the Bay Area that I'm trying to take all the kids on. So should be fucking super dope, and I'm very excited about that because it's fucking springtime. And even though I have mad allergies, I am one fucking bitch for the what is it called? Almost sounds like me, but it's not. I'm one fucking bitch for the gram and all of the pictures, and I'm very excited about it. Oh, and guess what, you guys? Okay, so after much deliberation and with such sadness and regret, I'm gonna have to politely decline my previous request of getting married at Sam's Chowder House. Ideally, that's a nice place. It's a nice place with a beautiful view, but I don't want to get married in the sand. 1. 2, I want to have like a cohesive, flowing event, and I feel like there it's just too restauranty, it's just too boxed off. There's like seating down here, then there's down on the ground, then up here there's more seating area, then there's like the whole restaurant, and it's like you walk in and there's like restaurant and seating over here, it's like seating over here, and then there's just like a space over there, and I'm like, it's just not gonna be enough, I don't think. So I want to go to the Ritz-Carlton in Half Moon Bay instead, where they have beautiful fucking views to get fucking married. And we can get married outside still, and it has this like it has like this grassy patch, right? And in the middle it's fucking cement. So it's like it's outside and it's on the water, and it's a big cement piece, big cement plot, but there's like grass in the middle, and on each side there's the cement walkway, and then in the middle there's a cement walkway where the bride comes down, right? So you have the seating on both sides and the groom and all of his people over here. So so that's really what I envision. Actually, I see having like a really beautiful fucking like flower succulent fucking arch, right? Behind us, and fucking our little person that does our fucking shit, ordained person, and then just like me and my beautiful flowing sun-kissed skin and fucking dress, and fucking just like having it trail behind me, and it just be beautiful. Like, that's what I envision. And like, at this fucking point, I really don't see myself buying a house in the near future. Why? Because everything around me is $1 million fucking dollars. My credit is not the fucking best, folks, and it's just gonna take me a long time to save up the 5%. It's not 20% you fucking need. It's like 3 to 5% that you need to put down or some shit, right? So even with that, like, that's just a lot of money. And I don't even know where we're gonna be at, honestly, because in 3 years, when I request the move away order again, when my oldest son is 18 and they cannot cite sibling separation, yes, that is my fucking plan to all of those out there. I'm trying to dip. Because fuck the Bay Area. You want to live here your whole life and love the Bay, I mean, by all fucking means. But there are more beautiful places out there in the world. And even leaving California is on my list. And even Ray has been like, dude, like, I'm down. And it's just like, yeah, dude, we've talked to a few of our fucking friends that have been like, let's go fucking down and throw fucking money on a plot of land. And like, here's our 20,000, here's your 20,000, here's your 20,000. Like, let's make this shit happen. You know what I mean? Like, and then everyone will get their loans to build their own houses and all of this shit. So I'm trying to do that. I'm trying to live off the land with a bunch of fucking people who I know are fucking capable. And work remotely as a paralegal and make $200,000 a year. Oh, these are the things I'm manifesting. Make them happen. Thank you, universe. Okay, so that's the thing, right? So I am down. So that officially gives me the budget to ball out on this wedding. I spent $17,000 in 6 months on an attorney. I can spend $35,000 to $40,000 on a wedding if I really want to, because I'm gonna have a year to pay it off. So that's what's up. I have a whole year from once Ray and I get our guest list. That's what we're doing next. I have my little book. It's so fucking cute, you guys. Once I get my little fucking we get our guest list going, we have a number of people that we want, then I can go to fucking the Ritz, give them, this is the number, tell them or ask them, what fucking options do you have in terms of rooms? Because I've seen some of the rooms, I don't need a room with fucking 300 people. Like, I don't. I just don't. I'm thinking 150 or less would be great. But even their rooms that seat like 75 to 100 people have beautiful fucking ocean views. And that's what I'm talking about. And I want to have, because, dude, I'm like, you guys don't even fucking know. You guys don't even fucking know all the things I am manifesting for this wedding. And it's gonna be so fucking beautiful. And I'm so fucking excited about it, honestly. So I'm ready for that. The only major purchase we have to buy in our future is a Cybertruck. Google it. Google it. That's what baby wants, and that's what baby's gonna get. So, I'm with that. Because we need a family vehicle. And that's gonna be it. And it's gonna be as dope can be. And if I can get the little fucking quad, the little that goes behind it, then I am with that shit for show, dude. That's just gonna be so fucking tight. But yeah, other than that, that's the only major purchase that we have. And on that, we make payments on it anyways. So that is just what's up. So I'm really excited, you guys, because in the past 3 weeks, I have motivated 2 women to better their lives and hopefully help them realize, like, it's okay to start from ground zero, my friend. It's okay to start with a minimum wage paying job. It's okay to know that you are worth more. If I would have fucking stayed with my ex, like, I just never would have been happy. I was happy by myself. I was like, I could probably do the single thing. That's fine, right? Single life was okay with me until I met Raymond. And then he showed me how beautiful a relationship and love can be. And I am thankful for that. Because it truly is what life is all about. Like, I get it. You people out there that are single that are like, well, I love being alone and I love being single and shit. And that's totally fine, because honestly, I did too. I like being able to do whatever the fuck I want, whenever the fuck I want, and go wherever the fuck I want and not have anyone tell me what the fuck to do, and have my freedoms and all of these things. But guess what? When you're in a healthy relationship, you can still do those things. Because guess what? The key word in those relationships is trust. Trust. Trust, my friend. Yes, I am left-handed. And why do I say that? Because it is 100% true. Ray can go out with his fucking best friend to support him at his events and shit like that. They can go disc golfing. He can do whatever he wants by himself. And guess what? I can do whatever I want by myself too. I can go out, if he wants to go out with some, like, with his fucking female best friend, or if he wants to go out with fucking any of his female friends, he could do that. Just like if I want to go out with any of my male friends and do whatever the fuck I want, I could do that. We're not talking about sucking any sort of dicks or fucking any sort of making out or anything like that. But, like, you know, you can go have drinks with your friend. I'm not worried about it. And it's dope because people think you lose that sense of freedom and self when you're in a relationship. And honestly, you don't. I go on solo skis adventures all the time. Even when we were together as a couple living in the same house, like, if Ray wanted to go do something by himself, like, oh, I feel like doing this, and I'm like, yeah, you know, I'm like super not in the mood. I'm like, but don't let me stop you, by all fucking means. And sometimes he'd be like, well, I want you to come with me. And I'm just like, okay. And then other times she's like, all right. He's like, well, I'll see you later. I'm like, all right, love you, bye. You know what I mean? Like, that's it. And that's how it should be. You should still be able to respect each other's personal fucking space. And then you should also feel the need to not be so fucking codependent that you can't do anything without this. Quick story time. I went to a house party this past weekend for our friend. He just got a new house, and it's for him and his kids, and so his whole family came over, right? We were invited because Ray has known these people for fucking over, like, almost 20 years, right? Like, or, like, at least 20 years. So they fucking all know each other, and they have a really good relationship and shit like that, and, we're all chill. I think we had, like, 6 joints fucking rolled for the night. And we rolled out, it was me, Ray, and our friend Mustard. My fucking back itches. and I had my hair done. It was like parted, and I had my little like swooshy fucking swoosh right here with my fucking bangs. Hold on, let me see if I can imitate it for you guys. Yeah, no, can't. But yeah, so essentially my hair was all done. I was fucking dressed. I was like, right, cause we haven't gone out together in a while. So I was like, well, I want to be comfortable, and I want to be, I want to be comfortable, and I want to be able to feel, like I'm not cold, right? Because I went over because when we left, I was like, oh no, it's fucking cold. I was wearing black pants, black leggings, fucking white spaghetti strap fucking shirt, and like a little like suede, like a little suede jacket, right? It was like a little suede cardigan jacket. It was like long. It like went like to like mid thigh, right? Super cute. Front pockets. Really like it. Really liked it. And everything was good. We were burning it there. Fucking took fucking one of those gravity bongs, the pill gravity bongs. I was fucking dying, bro. Shit. But we were all burning it and having a good time. Everything was cool. And then this dude comes in with his girl and their family and shit, and we're all like, hey, what's up, how's it going? And long story short, it comes down to me and her dude end up burning it together the whole night, right? The whole fucking night. And because Ray spins, right? So I'm not just gonna stand there like and be DJ girlfriend and just watch him spin. Like, I'm my own fucking person. Like, that's it. So I was chopping it up with all of the family, right? Like, and these fucking people were having like some in-depth conversations with me about their life and what they're going through and all of these things. And I'm a person who, I give you my undivided attention, and I give you my opinions, and I give you my feedback. I tell you how I can relay all of these things. So we're having good conversations. It was always me and dude and like another dude, but other dude didn't smoke. He was just out there for the conversation, and then the homeowner too, and then he went inside, and we were just outside burning it. So there were like three different occasions where she came out to look for him, and I know bitches like that where they're like, where's my dude at? Where is he? And then you like go look for him, and then you're like, where's that fucking bitch at, right? And then you go see, of course he's talking to that bitch outside, that blue-haired bitch outside with the joints, right? And so she's just like, well, what are you doing? And he's just like, I'm just burning it, and she's just like, and then she like goes inside. I'm like, this fucking bitch. And then there was another time when we were all sitting down to eat. And he was eating like a cup, or he had like a slice of like cake that I brought or something. Because when I go to parties, I normally bring desserts. So I brought a big tray of cheesecake, chocolate cake slices, and chocolate chip cookies. And she was like, what are you doing? She's like, what the fuck? He's like, what? He's like, it's just one. And then she's just like, you fucking know better. And I'm just like, ooh, I'm like, that's fucking rough. And I look at him, and he kind of looked at me, and I'm like, are you diabetic? And he's like, yeah. I'm like, it's all good. I'm like, Ray is too. And I'm like, we have hell fucking sugar-free fucking shit at our house. And I started going down the list, and I'm like, bruh. And I'm like, but you know what is fire as fuck? And I'm like, that fucking Minute Maid fucking fruit punch, or sugar-free fucking fruit punch, fire. And everyone was there, was like, yeah. Because then we all started talking about, because once I said that to him, then our other friend was like, yeah, I think I'm diabetic. And we were talking about like the fucking the symptoms and shit like that. And I'm like, yeah, no. I'm like, I went and I got tested, and I'm like, I got all my blood work and shit done. And I'm like, they're like, you're healthy, like you're just fat. And I'm like, yeah, I know, I'm just a big bitch. I'm like, it's all good. And I'm like, but I don't have any of those like underlying issues right now. Because I don't want him to seem embarrassed about it, you know what I'm saying? And then she was just being fucking rude, and fucking that's why I had to like ease up the fucking conversation. And she picked up on that too, and then she also rolled her eyes and didn't like that. And then And then Ray came back because he was spinning, and then he joined the conversation and shit. And then she went outside because I guess she was like, well, I guess he can watch her now. Fucking stupid. And we were all just hanging out and burning it. Ray burned a little bit with us, but he's like, Ray, I'll pass it to him, and he'll be like, so then I'll pass it to fucking dude. And we all had a good time. I really like dude. He's a good fucking person. Because I saw him spinning and I was just like, do you spin too? And he was just like, oh yeah. He's like, I fucking play like, he's like, but I don't play like this. He's like, I play like, I play like disco. And I'm like, oh yeah. He's like, yeah, not like disco house. And I'm like, thank goodness, I fucking hate house music. And he's like, no, like disco music in 80s. And I'm like, dude, I love the 80s. I was like, yes, right? And so he was hella cool. Like, apparently the house party that Ray spent out on Halloween was his house party. And I'm like, okay, like, that's dope. Like, now I know who he is. And now I'll feel okay about chilling with him, right? But, like, man, his fucking girlfriend was fucking whack. And I don't know if that's his girlfriend, his wife, his baby's mom. I don't know who the fuck that is. But he needs to leave that bitch. Because he's just, his vibe is up here. She does not pass the vibe check. And even when I left, I was just like, damn. And I'm like, did you guys fucking see fucking what's her name? Because when we were all leaving and shit, I was giving hugs to everyone. I was like, all right, dude, like, super nice to meet you. Like, take care of yourself. We'll see you again. Because essentially it came down to everyone being there. And then there was another chick there, but she knows me because I've seen her. This is my third time seeing her now, right? I saw her once at her house. I said hi to everyone. It was super nice. The second time I saw her was at a club and I was already fucking drunk. And she's like, she's like, oh, do you remember me? And I remember you and all this stuff. You came to my house. And I was like, what? Who the fuck is she? I don't know. I've never seen her before. And I was like, yeah. And she's like, bitch, you don't know. And I was like, I don't. I'm sorry. And she started hella laughing. And I was like, oh, fuck, dude. I'm like, I really don't know who that is. And then I found out that was our good friend's sister. And I'm like, what? And I'm like, that's fucking crazy. And so essentially it came down to, we were all fucking talking. They're like, so when's the wedding? And I'm like, oh, it's going to be, what is it? I'm like, it's gonna be August 2023. And I'm like, I'm trying to have like a year to like be working and like pay all that shit off. I'm like, I don't want to go into debt having a wedding. And they're like, so what's up? Are we invited? And I was like, yeah. And I'm like, I asked Ray and I'm like, how well do you know these people? You know what I mean? I'm like, I don't know them. And then she was just like, oh no, she's like, we've known him for a long time. She's like, a long time. And I'm like, you guys can come. I'm like, it's all good. I'm down. Like, the more people who are there that like us, the happier I'll be, right? Because I don't need people that are like fake friends and shit that like are just gonna go talk shit about us behind our back, you know what I mean? Like, I don't need that in our lives. So that was a thing, you know what I'm saying? That was one of those like, I really like them and I had a really good fucking time with them, you know what I'm saying? And it was everyone was a good vibe except that stank ass bitch over there. Straight the fuck up. It was some real shit too. And when we left, we all got in the car, because I remember telling Raymond, he was just like, do you want to go? And I'm like, I'm ready whenever you are, dude. I'm like, these are all your friends. Because we got there at like 4 and it was like 9. And from like 4 to 6, I had been drinking. And I had to stop drinking at 6 because I was like, dude, I'm getting buzzed. I haven't eaten anything. I'm like, I need to eat something before I have another drink. Like, straight the fuck up. So I stopped myself. And I just fucking smoked hella weed all fucking night. And then... That's what I was getting to when we were leaving. Oh yeah, that was one of our clicking moments. Me and fucking dude, really quick. I was rolling a joint. I rolled a joint, or I had joints rolled, and I'm like, fuck. I'm like, I don't have any. I'm like, this is my last fucking joint. And I'm like, fuck. I'm like, I didn't bring any papers. He's like, well, I got a blunt. And I'm like, what kind of blunt? He's like, he's a gold wrap, or a gold pack, or a diamond pack. And I was just like, are you talking about Swishers? He's like, yeah. And I'm like, fuck yeah, I'm all fucked with the Swisher. I'm like, if you're gonna say like a backwood or something, I'm like, I'm fucking pass on that shit. I don't fuck with all that. I'm like, but I'll smoke a Swisher with you. He's like, dope, I'm gonna go roll it up. And I'm like, yeah, because the girl next to me, the cool sister, she was just like, yeah, so I don't be doing no backwoods either. I'm like, yeah, no, fuck that. I'm not with that shit. So then we burned it and it was all good. What was I gonna say? when we were leaving, yeah, so it was like 9 o'clock, and I remember looking at the dude who owned the house, and he was making the barbecue, and he was just yawning, and I'm like, oh, you're fucking tired? He's like, yeah, dude, hey, he's like, I was doing hella shit earlier, I was moving hella shit earlier, he's like, and then I had to, then I had the party, because I'm fucking tired. I'm like, dude, go take a little disco nap, and I'm like, no one's gonna say shit, and I'm like, I know, hosting a party is exhausting, my friend. I'm like, I don't even eat when I host parties, I'll be just on the go all day. I'm like, and then when everyone's gone, and I'm putting shit away by myself, I'm like, that's when I'll make myself a plate and be like, fuck, you know what I'm saying? Like, damn. And so it was rough. It was rough. And so 9 o'clock, like 9:15 comes around, and Ray's like, or no, 8:30 comes around, and Ray's like, oh, are you okay? Like, do you want to go? And I'm like, honestly, I'm like, whenever you want to go, dude. I'm like, it's totally up to you. I'm like, this is your friends, you know what I'm saying? And I'm like, so whenever you want to go, I'm down. He's like, all right. And then I guess after that, he went and fucking told our friend who was spinning, because he brought all of his equipment and shit. And so fucking he fucking, I'm like smoking, I'm talking to everyone, and I turn around behind me, and I see everything being packed up, and I'm like, oh fuck, we're like leaving. And I'm like, all right. So we fucking dip on out, and what happens? I'm sorry, I have like 4 different situations happening in my head where I don't even know where any of those came from. But fuck, what are you talking about, you guys? Oh yes, when we were fucking leaving. Sorry, I don't know. Dude. My friend Josh's fucking candlelight vigil fucking came into my mind, and I'm like, what is happening? Like, why are we talking about this? I don't know, it's crazy. Anyways, so fucking, so we're leaving the house party, and I'm saying bye to everyone, and I'm giving everyone hugs. This bitch, literally, he's like next in line, right? She gets in between he and I'm like, okay. And fucking, I like continue to say bye to everyone, and then we're all leaving, and they go out this way, and we go out this way, and when we get to our car, I see them go into their cars, and he and I, like, we see each other, and I'm like, alright then, man. I'm like, it was nice to meet you. He's like, bye, and I'm like waving, I'm like, bye, because I'm like, this fucking bitch, like, she really did that. And I'm thinking to myself, like, maybe I'm tripping, right? Because bitches always think I'm flirting with their dudes, but I'm just a nice person. Or if I like them, because they're cool people, then yeah, then I'm not flirting with them, but I'm definitely having fun, I'm definitely joking, I'm definitely like, ha ha ha, like talking shit, you know what I'm saying? And so fucking, I got in the car, and I'm like, dude, I'm like, everyone was all cool, I'm like, that was a good time, and I'm like, that was chill. I was like, did you guys have a good time? And they're just like, yeah, and I'm like, does anyone else getting a fucking weird vibe from fucking dude's girlfriend? And Ray was just like, yes, dude. He was like, she was a bitch and she walked through the fucking door. And I'm like, do you think so? Because it started with, we had a conversation about bringing snacks, and somehow hot Cheetos got brought up. And they were like, oh yeah, I love that shit. And Ray was just like, yeah, Ray was just like, she didn't think that existed until like the 90s or some shit. Or yeah, until like the 90s. And I was just like, yeah. And he was just like, and fucking cream cheese and fucking hot Cheetos. She was like, he just had no fucking idea. He was like, she just had no fucking idea. And I was like, yeah, dude. I'm like, he put that in front of me like last week, and I was like, what the fuck is this? And she like looked at me, and she's like, who raised you? And I was just like, I'm from the Bay. I lived a very privileged life. And I'm like, I didn't know. And then she kind of like made a face, and I don't know if maybe that turned her off for the night, but I feel like that was the start of it. But Bray was like, that's when it started. It was like, she was just a bitch the whole fucking night. And I'm like, yeah, I'm like, you know what it is? I'm like, it's insecurities with those insecure hoes who fucking like, I don't know, just always feel like their man's out there. Like, if Ray was out, if I didn't see Ray for a little bit, and I like went to go find him, and he was talking to some bitch, I wouldn't be like, who the fuck is this bitch? I'd be like, what it do? You know what I mean? Like, fucking burn it. Like, what's going on? Let's fucking make it happen. I gotta fucking pee. So it's been an hour, and I really gotta go. But yeah, no, it was a really good time in LA. I fucking wish my fucking kids were out there the whole time. I was telling Ray, like, look at all the things we're doing. Like, they could just be coming with us, because that night they were fucking there were adults there, but they were all family, and all of their family brought all their fucking kids, and there were little kids there, and they were all fucking playing too. And like, it was just dope, you know what I'm saying? Like, we just don't have that sort of shit out here. I mean, I'm sure we fucking do. If I start reaching out to my friends and being like, hey, let's hang out, but I mean, I don't know. I feel like my friends have established their group of friends and their little kitty circles and who they hit up on birthdays and shit like that, and I'm like not one of them. So it's whatever. But I have to pee now. So there's that. Yeah. Thanks for hanging out with me and listening to me rant, you guys. I'm just here. Okay, gotta go. Love you. Bye.